Good morning. Got a case of the 1989 Donruss. We got 72 3-pack poly bags, which I prefer over the wax. Personally, I just think it's better condition. Obviously, we are going to go ahead and chase the Griffey, the Holy Grail Griffey. There's no doubt in my mind that we will pull at least one Griffey out of here, maybe two. The problem is the condition going to be worth sending out for grading? If the Griffey card is a PSA 10, they are selling for over $1,000 right now. So we're gonna see what we get. All right, got all the packs pulled out of the box. It is a lot. It's gonna be fun. We got a few stacks here to go through. All right, let's run it up. All right, now for the recap. That was a long rip. That took like 2.5 hours, so I had to speed through that. Nobody's gonna wanna watch that. So in the recap, I'm gonna go over the values of the cards, assuming a PSA 10 condition, what we got, how many we got, and what to look out for in regards to whether or not you're gonna deem it a PSA 9 or 10, if it's worth submitting or not. Starting off with our least expensive, and then we'll just go up from there. The Robin Yunt, these cards go for about 25 bucks. Not something you would submit to PSA at all. Doesn't matter the condition. At 25 bucks, I mean, if you wanted a PSA submit it, you're not making any money. You're just going to keep it for your PC. So on these ones, we got what, 4 or 5 of them. The first one here had bad centering. And when I talk about centering, I'm just talking about comparing the left to the right. You can see this one is quite noticeably thicker than this one. You can get by with a 60-40. I've seen PSA 10s in a 60-40. This is clearly not a 60-40 though. If you right away you notice it, this is more like a 70-30, maybe even worse. So that one's bad centering. This one here, bad centering, and also had some whitening on the top edge. This one's misaligned. When I say misaligned, what I mean by that is you'll have a difference in thickness between like here, and difference in thickness in here to here. I've seen PSA 10s in misaligned forms. For that to happen, the thickness here has to match the thickness here, and the thickness here has to match the thickness here. If your misaligned card is not matching in any of those corners, it's not worth submitting at all. This one is also misaligned, and this one is misaligned. So all of the Robin Yunt base are all no bueno. Moving on to the Robin Yunt Diamond Kings variation. These PSA 10 at about 30 bucks. We got 3 of these ones. The first one here is heavy right, So the centering, when I say heavy right or heavy left, that just means the centering's off on that side. So this one's heavy right as well. And then this one actually is, you know, I'm not going to send it in for a PSA 10 to be worth 30 bucks and spending $25 on a PSA, but this card is PSA 10 candidate. It meets all the, like the corners, the edges, the centering, the top and bottom, everything hits right. So that would be a PSA 10 candidate. Are we going to send it in? No. Cal Ripken. These go for about 30 bucks. Such an awesome player, so I like to keep these for my PC. The first one here, we got, it's misaligned, it's heavy bottom, and the top right corner is got a little tiny white mark. The next one here, kind of the same, but the corner is in good shape. Same as the last one, but yeah, no imperfection there. Misalignment, heavy bottom. And then this one's slightly heavy left, but the PSA 10 candidate that I was looking at, a couple of them were also slightly heavy. So this one would be probably a PSA candidate, but at its value, we're not sending that in. So we'll just leave that one penny sleeved, keep for the PC. On to George Brett, PSA of 30. And so here we got, this one's heavy top. This one's heavy top with ink. It's got like, you can actually see, if I can see that little brown smudge. So that's like an ink bleed or stain. So that, you know, that's hideous. That would obviously never work. And then we've got this one here. There's 2 dots on the left. You can see that dot right there. That's, you know, at first glance you think it's like dirt debris, but it's not. That's a pretty obvious white dot that shouldn't be there. This one here has got 3 dots on the left of the card. And then this one here, if the card was worth more, is perfect in my opinion. I don't see anything wrong with this one, so this one is a PSA 10 candidate. It's just top loaded. I do that on all my PSA 10 candidates that are not worth sending in for PSA grading, but in the future, obviously, at some point, these retro cards, all this junk wax area, you know, these boxes you can get, obviously they're going to deplete. These cards will eventually go up. So I top loaded as a potential PSA 10 candidate for the future. For now, we won't be doing anything with it other than just holding on to it. Moving up from there, we got Ozzie Smith. These are valued at about 35 bucks. And on this one here, this one, the top edge had some whitening. This one had a dot on the bottom. This one was misaligned. And then these two were perfect. I saw no issues with these ones at all. Really happy with those two there. We'll set those aside. Onto the John Smoltz rookie card, we got 2 of these. These ones didn't turn out too good. This one was heavy right with some white on the bottom edge. I wasn't a fan of how it was cut on the bottom edge, and this one heavy right as well. Tony Gwynn. These go for about 35 to 40 bucks. The first one was heavy right. This one was slight heavy right, and then this one was pretty much perfect. So I top loaded this one, didn't see any issues here. Loved the condition of this card, and love the player. Gary Sheffield rookie card, 35 to 40 bucks on these. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, we got 4 of these. None of these were PSA candidates. White in the top right corner, misaligned. White on the bottom edge, also misaligned and misaligned. And none of the misalignments matched. So like I would have it to where like one line would be straight and then one line would be misaligned. So no go there. Let's see here. Greg Biggio. We got a bunch of these. got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like we got 7 of these. Heavy left, heavy right, misaligned on left with a heavy top, top to bottom. Wasn't the best. And kind of the same there. And then this one here, in my opinion, looks good. So I went ahead and loaded that. And then the next one actually should be Barry Larkin. Well, I don't know where I put Barry Larkin. But we'll just go on to what I got here. We got Tony Gwynn on the Diamond Kings. These go for about 40 bucks. Heavy bottom with some minor white in the top left corner. I know it's hard to see in these videos, but I'm not going to go into every single one of them. Bore you guys. A couple white dots on the bottom on this one. Bottom edge wasn't smooth cut. Top right corner had a little white issue with it. And then the bottom edge on this one wasn't cut well. Kind of the same there. And then one of them ended up hitting all the criteria and looking good. Top loaded that. Then we got the Greg Jeffries rookie card. Got quite a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these. None of them were PSA 10 worthy. Dot on the right border on this one. Dot on the right border. Left side was misalignment. And then some random dots, like you can see there. See those little purple dots? That shouldn't be there. See, if you look at this one, see how that doesn't have it? So you might overlook that, think it's part of the fan or something like that, you know, the fan base back there, but it's not. Those 2 dots shouldn't be there. Don Mattingly Diamond Kings. These go for about 40 bucks. I got 4 of them. No PSA 10 candidates. Heavy top and left, heavy top and left, heavy top, and heavy top. And I wasn't happy with the edge cut on the top. So we'll just set those. Mark McGuire. These go between 25 to 50 bucks, depending on the buyer. There's our Barry Larkins we were looking for. We do got one of these, in my opinion, that's a PSA 10 candidate. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 of these pulled out of the case. Heavy left, heavy left, heavy left, heavy left, heavy left. And then this one here looked great. Barry Larkin. These go for about 40 bucks. We got 4 of them in the case. 3 of them decent but not good enough, and then 1 of them PSA candidate. Top right corner I wasn't a fan of on this one. Blue dot on the bottom corner, kind of hard to see. And then you see here, sorry, just looking at my notes. Heavy right, you can see how quite a bit heavier there. And then this one that I top loaded looks awesome. Jose Canseco on the 40/40 Club. These go for about 50 bucks. And then, so we got 4 of them in the case. Heavy right, misaligned on the left. And when I say misaligned on the left, that's when it's like here you can see it's smaller here and it's bigger here. And this one here just runs straight down. So it's not misaligned here, but it's misaligned here. So this one's misaligned left side, dot on the bottom back. Hard to see, but now the back, I don't typically go over the back too much because typically the imperfections on the back of the card are really not weighed heavily with PSA standards. I've seen so many PSA 10 cards that have little black dots or white specks, or it's not perfect. I mean, when you got a PSA 10 card, most of the time, the majority of what they're looking for is the condition on the front. The back too, I get it. The back too as well, but you can get by with a lot more stuff on the back than you can the front. Misaligned on the left, misaligned on the right, and then this one looks awesome. I have it in a card saver too. The way I look at it is any card that has a PSA 10 possibility of 50 bucks or more, I'll usually send in for grading. I love them for my collection. And then also too, if you PSA 9 out, a lot of times you can break even or get close. So you can, in some cases, get it graded. If you don't get the 10, but you get the 9, you can either keep it or you can resell it and get your money back. So this one here looks awesome. I've got it in a card saver too, ready to be sent out. Set that one there. All right, Don Mattingly's here. These ones go for about 50 to 60 bucks. We got 4 of them. Heavy left, misaligned on the left, heavy left, and this one looks awesome. So I've got it in the card saver too to send out. Barry Bonds, these go for about 60 bucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, we got 5 of them. Edge cut on the right, not a fan of. Edge cut on the right, not a fan of. Misalignment on the right side, misalignment on the right side. And then this one was perfect, just right. Could find any issues with this one. Really love the condition of that. For the most part, I do like these cards in the rack packs because the edges and corners almost always will pass. The cut is off sometimes, but the condition of them is awesome. I'll make another video. I've got a bunch of wax packs for the 1989 Donruss all open and we can compare to, but I've had a lot less luck on those ones in regards to the edges and corners. So I'll make a video on that one in the future. Ricky Henderson. These guys are going for about 55 bucks. We got 3 of them in the case. Misalignment on the left side. It's got a dot on the bottom back side. Bottom edge cut, not happy with. Misaligned on the left side. And then this one here was pretty much perfect. Put that in the card saver too. Kirby Puckett. These go for about 60 bucks. 1, 2, 3. We got 4 of them. Misaligned left, heavy right. You can see that pretty obviously. And misalignment here, and it doesn't match as well. So none of those looked good. Jose Canseco, the base version, the non-40/40, these go between about 60 to 70 bucks. 1, 2, 3, I got just 3 of them. None of them PSA candidates. Misaligned, the misalignment doesn't match. This one's misaligned, heavy left, and then heavy left. You can see here, this one's not misaligned. It's straight on both sides, but too small there, too big there. That's definitely larger than a 60/40 threshold that we want. And then we got Kurt Schilling rookie cards. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So got 6 of these in the case. None of them are PSA worthy. Misalignment, heavy right. This one had a ugly dot on the bottom left, heavy left with also the same dot, and then heavy left with the same dot as well, and kind of the same. Alrighty, Mike Schmidt. These guys are gonna go for about 80 bucks. 1, 2, we got 4 of them in the case. 3 of them no good. Heavy right, bottom edge had some whitening there. And then this one was perfect in my opinion. So that one is a go. Dale Murphy, these go for about 50 to 80 bucks depending on the buyer. I know it's kind of weird to have a range like that, but a lot of these go on auctions and there's a lot of, variables that go in the auctions. What time, did they hit auction? Sometimes they're at obscure times of the day, and so that heavily affects it, depending on the market and the eyes on it. And so like within 1 week of each other, one sold for 80, one sold for 50, hence the range. We got 5 of these. Top edge cut, was not a fan of. Heavy right, misalignment, heavy left. had a white dot under the bottom banner, and then the top corner wasn't a fan of, had some whitening in the very top corner. And then this one I felt was perfect. Set that one aside to send off. Wade Boggs, not too many of these, pretty low population on these. There's one in auction right now as we speak, which there's some bids on it. Should probably go for between 80 and 90 bucks. This guy was such a phenomenal hitter. It's crazy. Him and Gwen, amazing. So on this one here, unfortunately, I got 4 of them, none of them PSA quality. Misaligned heavy left with a white on the left edge, some whitening on the left edge and some whitening on the left edge. So, and what I mean by that is it sucks because you can tell these ones all came from the same print run, but you could see those dots. Every single one of these have the same dot. Boom, boom, boom. Some worse than others. So these obviously came from the same sheet at a manufacturing level. So they all share that imperfection, which sucks. So none of those are go. Going on to Randy Johnson rookie card. These go between 80 to 100 bucks. We got 4 of them. And this one here, 3 of the 4, we got kind of hosed. See that ink blotch there? See that one there in the corner and that one there too? All 3 of these have the same ink blotch. All came from the same sheet. So that's what I mean when it comes from the same print run. They're all coming from the same sheet before they're cut. Doesn't matter how this one's cut. They're all going to have that ink blotch. And then you'll see here, which I've card savored this one doesn't have it. So came off of a different sheet. This one looked perfect to me. We'll send this one out. Sometimes you get screwed and every single one of your players are off of the same print run, and sometimes you'll have like half of them on one print run, half of them on another, and half of them look great, half of them look good. On to Bo Jackson here. These go for about 100 bucks. Got 5 of them, none of them PSA worthy. Heavy right with pink dots on the pants. So these ones all came from the same print run. It sucks. So that dot there, that pink dot should not be there. That's got it, that's got it, that's got it, that's got it, that's got it. So unfortunately, every single one of these, doesn't matter how it looks with the borders and edges, you got pink on the pants, and you know, it's up close, it's pretty noticeable. So these are all a no-go. Nolan Ryan, these go between 90 bucks, about 90 to 110. 1, 2, we got 4 of them on the case. White dot on the bottom right, the right front corner. Was a little off as far as the little whitening there, and it's heavy left, misaligned right, slight heavy left, and then this one is pretty dang good. It's a little heavy left, but it's still within the 60-40. I see so many PSA 10s that have that 60-40 condition on there. So as long as the other conditions all meet, you still got a chance of getting the 10. We'll send it off. Ryan Sandberg, these go for about 115. Got 2 of them, only 2 of them. Kind of surprising. You open up a case with 72 rack packs and you get two cards. It's crazy. We've got heavy left and misaligned on the right. So that's not going to work. Greg Maddox, these go for about 150. Got 3 of them. Misaligned on the right in the same fashion. So you can see here, see how it's small here and it's wider there, and that one's straight down. So those are both misaligned on the right. And then this one looked amazing. We'll send this one off. We got lucky on this box so far. Most of my customers that are buying these cases and opening them, they're getting about 2 to 4 Griffeys, and I got 6. So that was awesome. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6 of them. Wish they all were PSA 10 candidates. To be honest with you, none of these are probably gonna be PSA 10 candidates. These are probably PSA 9 candidates. So that's why I card saved them. But this one, these 3 came from the same print run. They actually all came from the same print run, but some are worse than others. This one has 3 dots. It's got one there, and one there. This one's got the same dot there. And then it's got a little dot there where this one doesn't have it. And then this one here is not as noticeable as this one, but they're still there. They all carry those same dots. And then what sucks on these, like, see that? There's the purple dot that should not be on the jersey. It's got some purple smudging there with some dots there. It's got a purple dot there, the smudging, purple dot there. So these all have these random purple dots all over the jersey. So these ones are just going to be set aside for the PC being personal collection, if I didn't elaborate on that. These ones I card savored because Griffey's, even in a PSA 9, it's one of the few cards in a PSA 9 where you can still make money. You can still get about $50 on a PSA 9 for a Griffey card pretty quick. Whereas the PSA 10s go for between $750 and $1,000, somewhere around there. There was one that sold for $1,050 like a month or two ago. So again, depends. They always go to auction. This one here, it still hits the 60-40 parameters here. It's got the dot here on the left, but it's so like minor that you can't even tell, and it doesn't have all the little random purple dots here. And then this one here is got slight misalignment, but they match. So the thickness here matches the thickness here, and the thickness here matches the thickness here. And so I've seen a lot of PSA 10 cards that are misaligned, but when they offset each other, they're essentially centered. So I see that a lot. So these are great. I'm gonna send those off too. All in all, I thought that was an extremely fun open. I think if you're gonna open a case of 72 rack packs, which is over 3,000 cards, it takes 2.5 hours. It is tiring. If you're doing it just to look for Griffey's, it's gonna be boring. You know, you could, like I said, you could go through a whole box and get only 2 Griffey's. It's way too much opening to try to just search for Griffey's. Expand your knowledge base a little bit and have an understanding of what else you can get. Here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 11 cards here that I'm gonna send off for PSA submission. That makes it a much more enjoyable experience if you do it with your kids or friends, because divvy those 72 rack packs up and let some people join in on the fun with you. It's a lot more enjoyable. And if you're lucky, get a PSA 10 Griffey. If you do get a PSA 10 candidate Griffey, share it with me. May the grading gods be with you. Quick $1,000 if you get one. In any event, any questions, just like, comment, and you know, I'll reply back to your comments below if you do have any questions. But again, as always, thank you for watching.